ReVoice Podcast Network. The mic is ours.
Hey listeners, welcome back to a ReVoice Network original called Podline.
Welcome back to the Bad Attitude Podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to Common Talk, the podcast with common conversations and random outcomes.
In today's episode, we ask you to share one of your craziest dining experiences.
In today's episode, we have my close friend, Cooper Ludwig.
I'm your host, Gabriel, and this week's question is, who are your top 5 favorite people all time?
My name is Brett Coleman.
My name is Caroline Crane.
And my position in ReVoice is I'm the host and sound editor for Bad Attitude.
And I'm the network manager of ReVoice.
So the ReVoice Podcast Network is a product under Robert Milazzo from last semester in our Mass Communications 410 course. He challenged us to create our own podcasting network. So we have 3 shows, Bad Attitude, which is the one I work on, Common Talk, and Podline.
And there's about 7 of us that wanted to continue into the fall. So that's what we're doing. And we're trying to kind of cement ourselves at VCU and get more people to join.
Bad Attitude is the podcast that I work on with Abby DeCandia. She's our producer. So we basically sit down and we document the creative prowess behind local VCU artists. And we basically just sit down for 10 minutes and get to know their process, whether it's music, art, really any art form. We really try and emphasize the importance of like art creation, no matter the field. We've had 2D animators, we've had musicians, we've had kinetic imaging artists. We've really had like so much, and it's just like seeing art in really any type of form and like glorifying that and really like just documenting it.
For Common Talk, we go out and basically do a little table in Monroe, and we have a different question each episode. We've done what's your craziest family story, what's your controversial opinion, spooky stories, stuff like that. And we basically get a bunch of different answers. We get a really diverse amount of answers, funny, really deep and like emotional sometimes, crazy. We just get common conversations with random outcomes, as our tagline says.
And Podline's like a call line, essentially, where Kayla and Erica, they sit and they have people upload their own stories towards, it can be the one this past week has been like, do you have a bad hair experience? Describe more of it. And it can be anything. So like, do you have a bad romance story? Do you have a bad dating story? Like, do you have a bad Richmond story? And they'll basically take these Google Forms and they'll examine them and kind of like give their own feedback to it. So they kind of try and help the viewer. So it's kind of more informative, but it's also kind of has a similar vibe to, I would say, like Common Talk, at least for like the interaction. Like you kind of don't know with some of these stories what people are going to say.
I want ReVoice to continue on in the future. After I graduate, I want it to just still be at VCU in the future. Like 5 years from now, I want to be able to look back and see if there's any new shows that maybe new students have creatively thought of. If there's anything different about the network, if our 3 shows that started the network are still there. Yeah, I just want it to still be around at VCU in the future.
As for the future of ReVoice, I'm not very sure exactly where it could go. I would love for it to keep growing, and I would love to keep being a part of it in the future. And I would also love to see it become more of a part of like VCU, but maybe even possibly like future media production students. I don't want to say like a club, but like maybe like a group of people that really want to just keep these shows going. Yeah, I like to take it like kind of like at a week at a time, but in the future, who knows? Maybe next semester we'll really get a lot more momentum. Maybe ReVoice will really go somewhere. Like we don't really know. It's like 6 months old. So it's not very like not very old. It's very like brand new. It's still very like fresh to all of us. So it's kind of like still very special in that way, I would say. So I think there's a lot in store for us. Yeah, I think it's really up to us what we want out of it. We can take it wherever we want.
ReVoice Podcast Network. The mic is ours.